Okay, in this last video, we will learn how to make two-way MySQL database replication. From the last video, we've already setting up the first server logbin. Now, we're going to setting up the logbin in second server inside the my.cnf file. Then, open SAM control panel. And inside the SAM control panel, then click Manage Server tab, choose MySQL database, and click the Configure button, and choose to open conf file. Yes. Then, inside the file, search for MySQLD, and under the MySQLD, type logbin. Okay, then click Save, then close the file, then click OK. After that, start your MySQL database from SAM control panel. Now we're going to create user on both servers. These users will be granted all of the privileges. To create user, then log in into MySQL. Okay, then we need to create user, then type create user, the username, and the password. My student numbers. Okay, now we're going to grant all of the privileges. To the user. And the password. Oops. Okay, now we're done creating user in server 1. Now we're moving to second server to create another user. Then log into your MySQL. Okay, after login, then type create user, username, the server, okay, and the password. Okay, after creating user, now we'll grant the privilege. Grant all. To the users. Okay. After creating users, now we need to declare that the first server is master server of second server, and the second server will be the master of first server. In first server, we're going to assign the second server as the master server. Then type change master to master host. Yes. the IP address of the second server, and the master user will be the username that we create before in the second server, and then master password, the password of the username, okay, and then the master port. We just use the default. And for the master log file and the master log position, we're going to check in the second server. Okay, to check the master status, then type show master status. Okay, there it is, the log file and log position. Okay, we're moving back to the first server. And then we need to set the log file. Log file is MySQL bin . Okay, now we're going to set the master log position. It's 882. Okay. Now we're going to set the master to connect with trying for 10 times. Okay, we've already done configuring the second server as master. Now we're going to start the slave process. Then type start slave. Okay, slave process is running. Then we're going to check the slave status. To check that, type show slave status \G, and then we're going to check the slave status. It said waiting for master to send even. It means the first server is already connected to the second server, and this server is waiting for the master to send any event. After that, we're moving to the second server. Here we're going to declaring the first server as master. Then type change master to master2. Then set the master host, the IP address of the first server, and then the master user, that is the username that we create in first server, and the master password, that is password of the user, and then master port, let's use the default. For the master log file and log position, we're gonna check from the first server. Okay, in the first server, we're going to check the log file and log position. To do that, then type show master status. Okay, we got it. We got the master log file and master log position. Alright, we're moving back to the second server. Now we set the master log file from first server, that is MySQL bin, MySQL bin. Okay. Then for the master log position, it's okay. Now I'm going to set the master to retry connecting for 10 times. Okay, we have already done configuring the first server as master. Now we're going to start the slave process. To do that, type start slave. Okay, the slave process is running. Now we're going to check the slave status. Then type show slave status \g. Okay. Now we're going to check the slave status, and it said waiting for master to send event. It means the second server is ready to do replication process. Now we're going to test the replication process on both servers. To test the replication, we're going to create database in first server, then create table in second server, and moving back to the first server to insert data in the database. Before we create a new database, then we need to check the list of database that we have in second server. Then we need to type show databases. Okay, remember, this is the list of database that we have in second server. In first server, we're going to create a new database. Then type create database DB Koperasi. Okay. After creating the database, now we're going to check the database in the database list of second server. Okay, we're moving back to the second server. Now we're gonna check the database list. To do that, then refresh the database list. Just show the databases again. See, there's a new database list in second server named DB Koperasi. Now we're going to create a new table in second server. Before that, we're going to check the table list in first server. To check the table list, then we need to use the database first DB Koperasi. Okay, now we're going to show the tables inside the DB Koperasi database. Okay, it said empty set. That means there is no tables inside the database. Okay, to create a new tables, then we need to use the database that we wanted. It is DB Koperasi. Okay, now we're going to create tables. Then type create table DB Nasabah. Okay, we have already done creating a new table. Then we're moving to the first server to check the table list. Okay, in the first server, we're going to refresh the tables inside DB Koperasi database. Then just type again show tables and then press enter. See, there's a new tables inside DB Koperasi database named DB Nasabah. Before inserting data inside DB Nasabah table, then we're going to check the data inside the table. To do that, type select all from DB Nasabah. Okay, see, it said empty set. That means there's no data inside DB Nasabah table. Now we're going to insert data from the first server. Then I'm going to insert data inside the TB Nasabah table. To do that, type insert into TB Nasabah, then okay, I'm going to input the values. For the first values, that is Adit. Second will be Rizal. The third may be Eka. And the fourth, it is Mia. Okay. It's successfully 4 rows affected. Now we're going to check the replication in the second server. Okay, in the second server, we're going to refresh the data in TB Nasabah tables in second server. To do that, just type again select any from TB Nasabah and then press enter. See, there is a new data inside TB Nasabah tables. It proved that two ways MySQL database replication is run successfully.